Welcome to the Sweet Life Coaching Podcast, connecting real people with expert advice to achieve a healthier lifestyle and live a more fulfilling and abundant life. Here is your host, Coach Tavia.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the show. It's almost the end of summer. Can you believe it? And here we are. I've got another fabulous guest, Melanie. It's Yukov, correct? Is that how you say your last name? Yukov? Hello, Melanie.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm great. Thanks, Tavia. Yes.
Good. Happy for Melanie to be here. So you guys, Melanie is also in the coaching world. She's a holistic health coach. I'm going to introduce her in just a second. We actually, didn't we go to the same school too? The Health Coach Institute. That's how we met, right? I think that was
Institute of Integrative Nutrition. I went.
Oh, you went IIN. Okay. So we were in a chat of some other health coaching thing, and that's how we connected. But anyways, so there's a lot of us out there doing fabulous things. And I always like to seek out other coaches, other people that are in the health and wellness space to bring on my show. You guys know this because I don't know everything. Believe it or not, I don't. And so with further ado, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about Melanie and why I brought her on. So she's a holistic health coach, like I said, and a community herbalist as well. She's inspired to help people heal their digestive systems and to lead fearless, joyful, and confident lives. It's our passion to help people heal by teaching them to tap into their body's natural wisdom and ability to heal themselves so that they can become whole internally, physically, and spiritually. I love that. Very important. She's been educating herself for the past 10 years for various topics related to healing rooted in mind and body medicine. Guys, this is a big deal. It's a really big deal. It's not just about the physical. I can't emphasize enough how much the mind plays a big part in healing. She's designed some programs incorporating energy medicine, vagus nerve function, activation. I'm a big proponent of vagus nerve. We could probably talk about that in another whole session and other modalities. She connects people to healthy practices such as these while tapping to their roots and connecting and living in a harmony with nature. She offers life-changing solutions to everyday problems and chronic conditions. Her inspiration for creating Root to Rise Wellness is rooted in this empowerment. So, wow, that's a lot. That's awesome. So today, so thank you again for being here. So today we were trying to come up with some topics of what would be the best of the best, or what to bring, to the listeners out there. And we landed on tips to help heal the leaky gut. So actually, do you want to tell people what leaky gut is? I'll let you tell people what leaky gut is. How about that?
Yeah, sure. Well, thank you so much for that introduction, Tavia. I love the name of your podcast, The Sweet Life. Oh, I just love that name.
Thank you.
Who doesn't want a sweet life? Yeah, it's beautiful.
Right.
So leaky gut basically results from when your body starts to reject things that it should otherwise accept. So we develop, like a leaky gut is one in which where you eat foods and your body kind of overreacts or sends you running to the bathroom, or can lead to constipation. And it's when, your stomach lining becomes impaired and your intestines become impaired, and you basically are not able to digest foods that should otherwise keep you well. And so the leaky gut, the gut and the brain, it's a small question, but yet the gut is so complex, right?
Yeah.
The gut and the brain, the immune system, all of this is tied together. So it isn't just about our organs and our abdomen region. Right. It's also about our emotions, our thoughts, how we eat, our relationships, everything. So that is really why I do this as a holistic program, because I know that it's not just about handing off a diet. And I'm sure you're aware, right? I mean,
right. Absolutely. Yeah. It's a lot of complexities to it. A lot of complexities. A lot of times people get diagnoses of IBS, right? Irritable bowel syndrome, IBD, irritable bowel dysfunction. And then they'll hear along the way some leaky gut, that term will come up. And I would say a good population has a lot of gut issues. And why is that? Well, because of the foods we eat, the toxins we're exposed to, on and on and on. It's just, there's a lot of dysbiosis going on that happens in the gut because of our food. Stress doesn't help either. Chemicals, toxins, blah, blah, blah. So, okay, great. Yeah. So leaky gut, a lot of people may or may not have heard about leaky gut, but it is a condition. And a lot of times what I understand about leaky gut too, is that a lot of times if you have leaky gut, then the toxins get reabsorbed back into the bloodstream. Or they can, and then they cause some more problems, right.
Autoimmune conditions and all of that. Right.
So a lot of times people don't, they'll go get a diagnosis and then they're like, they don't even think about the gut as the main culprit or cleaning up their diet. And it's got to be the starting point. I mean, in my opinion, it has to be. So,
yeah.
But, anyways, yeah.
I totally agree. And, also want to emphasize that a lot of what I do is food related and herb related, supplement, nutrition, all of that is incorporated in my programs that I use with clients.
Awesome.
But first and foremost, and an important aspect that I incorporate is also visualization, vagus nerve, emotional wellness and healing. Because what I've learned personally as somebody who has had many years of dealing with leaky gut is that if you don't also heal the emotions and how you deal with your day-to-day life, the diet it's a fraction. The herbs are a fraction.
Yes.
So, are you ready to get started for me to give you some tips?
Yes. Let's dive into these tips. Yes. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah. So the first one I want to share with you is something related to the vagus nerve. Now, the vagus nerve, for those of you who don't know, is the 10th cranial nerve. It's hugely important in our rest and digest and our parasympathetic rest and digest part of our nervous system. And in today's life, it is basically underactive. We are typically functioning in a high stress state. And, what can we do to calm ourselves? Because if you're under stress, if you're in that high stress state, you cannot digest foods, well. So this is a little tip. This is a short podcast, so I'm going to do tidbits here, but this is very important and powerful, a powerful tip. We're going to take our third finger, which is our middle finger or our power finger, in energy medicine, as it's termed, and we are going to put it behind our ear in this hollow region behind the ear. Yeah, you can do that too. It's called the vagus gateway, and it is that hollow notch. Do you feel it, Tavia?
Yeah, mine's sore.
Interesting. So in energy medicine, I'm glad you mentioned that, because in energy medicine, soreness is an indication that you need it.
I'm sure I do. I'm going for a massage after this podcast, actually. So I'm going to have some energy and stuff working. Anyways.
Oh, great. Well, keep your finger, your middle finger in that vagus nerve gateway or that notch.
Right below the ear in that knot. Yeah. Got it.
That hollow point. And then I want you to do some vagus nerve breathing. So that's breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And keep your tongue elevated at the roof of your mouth when you breathe in, and just keep it elevated when you breathe out. It's okay that it's not going to be touching the roof, but keep your tongue elevated. So we're breathing in, and we're going to make a sound.
Okay.
And see how my hands, Tavia, are draped on my
neck? I have these ear things on.
That makes it hard.
I have headphones on, so it's harder for me to get up in there. But yeah,
got it. Well,
this will be on you
for that. I'll explain why. Okay. So the reason for that is that the vagus nerve it goes, from the brainstem around the ear, and it's all, where our thyroid is, all in our throat, right?
Yes.
So it goes down our throat. So by draping my hands around my neck, this is, by the way, called the peacemaker. And I love that name. So we're doing the peacemaker, and we're going to breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth 3 times.
Okay.
Notice how I'm activating the back of my throat by the way I'm breathing, because that innervates the vagus nerve.
Yeah. Feels so good. And actually, it's getting less sore.
Already?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Like this side, the left side isn't as sore as the right now. Interesting.
Amazing. Breathe in one more time.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Now the right isn't sore. I'm already feeling it. Yeah.
So it's so immediate. Today I woke up with a headache today, and I did some energy medicine work, and my headache went away, and it was a really bad headache. So this stuff really works. So this is energy medicine. I teach classes on this, and I use this with the clients, and that is my first tip. So the fact that you can use your hands. Yes.
Yeah. So
you can use your hands.
I just want to shout out to the listeners too, that you can watch this on YouTube, because we are recording this face to face, so you can watch and see what we're doing. So tune into YouTube, and I'll put the link on YouTube so people can watch what we're doing.
Yeah. Yes. Awesome. And so you take your middle fingers, like I said, and now that's like the first step in a long sequence that I do, an energy medicine routine.
Yeah.
If you would like the whole routine, you can go to my website.
Ooh.
And this is like a special gift.
Ooh. I like gifts. What's the website link, Melanie?
So it's root2risewellness.org.
Okay. I'll put the link below for you guys. root2risewellness.org. Okay. Got it.
Yes. And then there, I will give you the link, but basically at one of the tabs, you can click on it and it'll say energy medicine routine or tapping into healing. I think it's tapping into healing. Okay. I'll provide it for you, but basically they go to that, they put in their info, and then they'll get the 15-minute video that will show a whole bunch of energy medicine practices that will help detox, activate the vagus nerve, bring the body into balance, ground. I mean, it's incredible.
That's awesome. Thank you. Okay. I'm ready for the other tips.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So that was tip number 1. So that's activating the vagus nerve. Now, tip number 2 is something that I feel that we have as a culture gotten away from is taking the time to be with our food and giving some gratitude. Now, I know in Christian cultures, they say like grace, right? Mm-hmm. And giving gratitude. And it doesn't have to be religious.
Yeah.
If you're not feeling well, then your relationship with food is impaired. I mean, because you lose trust. Yeah. How many people here are listening? Like my body's doing this to me. It's abandoning me in my time of need. And I can't go to a restaurant without feeling, afraid that, I might have to run to the bathroom. There's irritable bowel, leaky gut. Now that's really tough. So one thing I love to do, it's called low, slow, and smile. And this is a technique.
Slow and smile. Okay.
Yeah. It's a technique I use with clients. I actually learned it with working with a coach myself before when I needed, support with my relationship with food. And I find it very valuable. So what you do is when you sit down with your food, just look at it.
Okay.
How many times you just shovel it in, right? It's
right.
like you don't.
Yeah.
So you look at it, you smile. Putting a smile on your face sends a positive vibration to your body.
Yeah.
Thanking the food and thanking your body in advance for digesting it is going to help your body to digest it better. Putting your hand on your heart, connecting to your heart space, smiling, giving gratitude. And then my favorite part of this, although the whole thing is great, is is tapping your feet.
Okay.
When you notice that your mind is going somewhere else. And I find this really valuable, especially when I'm eating alone.
Oh, interesting. I like this.
Like, where are your thoughts when you're eating? If you're not feeling well, if you have irritable bowel, leaky gut, chances are you're taking your mind to thinking about something else.
Right. You have a hate relationship with food, or like I've had people that have recently been diagnosed with celiac.
Okay. Yes. Right. And so then you're just, so it's a hard to accept diagnosis. You might feel, oh my God, I can't have gluten ever again. So you need to reestablish this positive relationship and work with the resistance that you're probably going to naturally feel. Right.
Yeah. Right.
So connecting with your heart space and tapping your feet, because whenever I just want to invite the listeners to do it. Yeah. Honestly. Yeah. Because you will notice yourself, how it helps bring your mind back into your body.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
All right. You ready for more?
Yeah, I want more. Keep giving it more. Okay. So I'm taking notes on this too. And I'm going to be like, yeah, I got all kinds of notes written.
Yeah. So the reason that I am great with gut health is because I walk the walk.
Yeah,
absolutely. And it's like, I've gone to people just to help me who haven't really understood it, and because they don't feel it. But I know this because I've dealt with it for a long time. Yeah. And I really know what kind of tools to pull from my toolkit whenever I need them. So this is, so the next one I wanted to tell you, now notice how I haven't even talked about food yet. Everything is been relationship wise.
Right.
I do have food tips.
Okay. Okay.
But let me give you another one. So this one is, what do you do when you're done with your meal? Do you quickly, more times than not, just get up and go,
do the dishes, put things away?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. This is what we all do.
Right.
So this is interesting to me because it is cultural. And the reason I know this is because there is a word in Spanish called sobremesa.
Sobremesa. Uh-huh.
Which literally means on the table.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the reason they have this word in their culture is because after they eat, they don't get up and go. They sit with all the plates on the table and they chat.
Yeah. Italians do that too. Yeah.
Italians do it too. So Americans, let's get on the bandwagon here. The reason that, and in addition to Italians and Americans, I study Ayurveda and use that as part of my healing. And in Ayurveda, they tell you, the ancient Indian wisdom, they tell you to wait at least 5 and up to even 20 minutes if you can after a meal. Talk, rest, relax, lie on your side, let the food digest before moving on to promote digestion.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, I mean, in today's world, what are we grab and go, we eat. I mean, I'll be honest, I had just a session before we recorded this and I had not very much time and I had to grab and eat pretty fast. I'm guilty of it.
So I do it too. So let's be real with the listeners that we're in the same kind of crazy world as you, right?
Right.
But the more you can bring awareness to it and have more moments, it's just create more moments. Don't be hard on yourself. Just be that observer and create more of these moments. At minimum, what you can do, Tavia, is take a few breaths and thank your body. So
Absolutely.
just take 3 breaths before you get up and wash those dishes.
Okay.
3 breaths.
Yeah. 3 breaths. Okay. Got it. Yeah.
Just to close the experience.
Got it. Yeah.
And then that will actually help you digest your food better.
Okay. All right. What's the next tip, love? I want more.
Add it in. All right. So I do want to touch now a little bit on herbs because as you mentioned, I'm a community herbalist. I teach classes. Cool. Yeah. So I teach classes both virtually and in person related to gut health and herbalism. And I do this with kids and adults. And one of the things that, one of the tastes that we as a culture have gotten away from is bitter. Right? Mm-hmm. We don't like the taste of bitter. We just we all love sweet. Who doesn't love sweet? But particularly bitter isn't a flavor that we seek out so much. But bitter is really important for digestion because it prepares the body to digest. Mm-hmm. The digestion process, begins before the food enters. It's looking at the food, and then it's when you put it in your mouth, all that saliva that gets going and all that. So when you start with something bitter, It could be a piece of arugula. It could be radicchio. It can be anything, literally anything bitter. If you know how to identify a dandelion and you're 100% sure you know it's dandelion, you could honestly go in your yard. I know this sounds crazy, but I eat wild foods, so to me, it's not. But you can just taste a dandelion. And 15 minutes before a meal, you'll notice that you start to get hungry.
Yeah.
And that's because the bitter stimulates the liver and gallbladder. It stimulates the bile and basically gets your body ready to digest. And if you're someone who is suffering from lack of appetite, it also is a way to stimulate that. So just nibbling on something bitter, or what you can do to stimulate the gastric juices.
Oh, hold on. Sorry. All of a sudden my computer is doing something. Yep. Are you still there, Melanie?
Yep.
All of a sudden I can't hear you. Oh goodness. Oh, there we are. Are you back?
I'm here.
Okay. Sorry about that. All of a sudden and sorry to the listeners, we had a little pause there. Technical difficulties. Okay, continue. Sorry. Just went.
No worries.
Went mute there for a second.
Yeah, no worries. So you can taste something bitter, but you can also use bitter herbs. They sell these on the market. If you, aren't an herbalist, you can't, right?
Yes.
So, but different herbs are better for different bodies. So obviously good to work with a practitioner.
Yeah.
But things like angelica, orange peel, dandelion, artichoke leaf, these are bitters that are good for your liver and gallbladder, stimulating digestion if you know how to use them properly. And there's also usually a combination of these bitters with carminative or soothing herbs. So those will be nice for coating and soothing the intestines for dealing with gas and bloating. Bitter tablets. Let's see what you got.
So to those listeners, I'm holding up my digestive bitters that I have next to my office here. And I take these if I get like some kind of icky tummy, or if I'm maybe a little nauseous or something like that. They're great. So is this what?
And you find that it helps you?
Oh yeah. I love them too. They're good. These kind of taste like cinnamon. So this one has,
I haven't seen that brand.
Yeah. This one has milk thistle, artichoke, gentian root, angelica, which you just mentioned, ginger, galangan, cinnamon, and cardamom.
Right. So it does have some carminative herbs. The cardamom is carminative. It's soothing for gas and bloating. Other ones like fennel, anise, chamomile are also soothing. And then it also has some bitters to promote that bile, like the angelica, the artichoke that you were saying.
Yeah.
And then there's also bitters for detoxing and infection, like wormwood and berberine. So there's a variety of different bitters, but looking into that, bitters just in general could support a lot of people with their digestion. And when I work with people, I do it very individualized. So obviously, like, for example, gentian is better if you have a pitta, as they call it in Ayurveda, like a fiery digestive.
Yep.
But angelica is great for more of a vata constitution, somebody who is in their head a lot and anxious a lot, because it's a warming bitter. It's not a cooling bitter, and most bitters are cooling.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to get a customized blend, which I do work with herbalists and have my clients get customized blends, which is pretty awesome to get something like specific for you, because we're all so different.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. What else? What's tip number 5? Come on, let's go. I want more.
You're ready. So what we covered so far was something for the vagus nerve, something for the mind body. We covered something for herbs, using herbs to support digestion. And now I just want to mention like an important nutrient, because we haven't really done that.
Okay.
So colostrum.
Oh yes, colostrum.
Yeah, it's in mother's milk. It's the first immune defense that a baby receives, and really makes us realize just how important the immune system is tied into the digestive system. Colostrum is healing for the gut wall.
Yeah.
Super important. Right. And it helps reduce constipation, diarrhea, IBS. It's high in IgG, IgM, and IgA, which are immunoglobulins or proteins or antibodies. And they basically identify and destroy pathogens.
Yep.
And so you're going to need that. If you have a leaky gut or if you have IBS, you know, you could definitely use some support with colostrum.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. So you're familiar, Tavia, and you
absolutely.
Use it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And I do muscle testing in my practice. So I muscle test to make sure it does jive with the individual first and foremost. And I will point that out that everybody is different, you guys too. So I want to just a disclaimer here, everything that we're talking about, everybody's unique down to their own DNA. So obviously the vagus nerve, the gratitude, I mean, the only thing, the bitters and the colostrum, you know, we got to make sure those are working for the individual.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, I totally agree.
And most do.
There are ways in which bitters can overstimulate the liver and gallbladder. So it is good to be careful. And with colostrum, there are some forms that are dairy formed. So if you know, I have to be honest though, I'm lactose intolerant and I'm taking one that's a dairy. It has low levels of casein and lactose and I seem to be okay, but everybody's different. Yeah. So there are Ancestral Supplements makes a really nice one from cows. So it's bovine derived, colostrum. And then for one that's non-dairy, Mega Microbiome Labs makes Mega IgG 2000.
They do. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are just examples of some products that you can get that can support the
gut.
Support the gut. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. Wonderful.
I will include my full script dispensary link to the show notes. Okay. The IgG 2000, if you've checked with your provider or if you have someone that you know you can try, it would be okay for you to try. It is on my dispensary. Okay. The Ancestral Supplements could be purchased directly through them. They make a whole, do you know, are you familiar with their line?
Which one?
Ancestral Supplements.
I don't think so. I don't think I've used those Ancestral Supplements. I'll have to Google it.
They're like all derived from cow and they basically sell, I mean, it's free. It's incredible. They pasture raise their animals and they sell the different parts. So like if you have an issue with your gallbladder, you can take gallbladder. They have gallbladder and I know it's wild. They have blood, they have gallbladder, they have intestines. I know this for some listeners, this might sound like weird or nasty, but I encourage you to read on their website. I
know what you're talking about now. I just Googled it. Yeah. I totally know what you're talking about. Yes. And they have like the beef liver. Yes. Okay. Actually, one of my clients is taking this one, the beef liver. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like to promote specific products too much because as you say, we're all individual.
Yeah. Right.
But there are some that I find that are really good. And I do think I like Ancestral.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
No money from them by saying that.
Right. No, same. There's a lot of companies that I promote too, and I don't make any money off of them. I support them, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. All righty. And you said you had one more last tip, or was that I think you said you had 5 or 6 tips. There was one more.
Well, since you said that, I don't see why we can't mention another one.
Let's go for it. Yeah, we still got time.
All right. So I'll mention one more, which is, you know, sometimes when your body hits rock bottom, you don't know what to eat, right? It's like, I don't know what do I do? So you just need something that's comforting, like a comfort food. And one of the foods that I love that's pre-digested, just really easy to digest, that's a comfort food that may feel great to your body is kanji.
Kanji. Kanji.
It's spelled different ways. It's interesting depending who's talking about it, but it's originates from China, and the way that I spell it is Congee.
Okay. Okay.
But I have seen it spelled different ways. So basically it is a very slow cooked porridge. You know, the Three Little Bears.
Yeah. Goldilocks and Three Bears.
Yeah. Let's go the Three Bears.
Yeah. Okay. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So it's cooked in about 6 to 7 times the amount of water. So it's like 1 cup of rice to 6 or 8 cups of water, cooked for 6 to 8 hours over low heat. It can be done in a crock pot. Yeah.
Okay.
So that slow cooking process means that a lot of that digestion is happening in the pot. You mean you're going to have an easier time digesting it. And you want to keep the message to your body simple. If you are going through something where your gut is just hit rock bottom, and
absolutely
having this and using some spices will help increase the digestion, but you don't want to overdo it, because this is like great for someone post-surgery, someone with IBS, leaky gut, who's having a flare-up. Could be good for a nursing mother. It's just nurturing. So you can use some spices, a little bit of ginger if you could tolerate that, a little bit of, coriander, cumin, whatever, just a little bit of those kind of warming spices.
Yeah.
And you can use different grains.
Okay.
But the one that's so easy to digest is white rice. And people might look at me like, because it's viewed as, not nutritious, white rice, right?
Right.
It's not brown rice. The germ is removed, doesn't have the fiber. But if your digestive system is so impaired, you can't digest all those things. You can't digest the fiber. Then you just need something that's going to be like a mother hugging you. You know what I mean? And this is soothing. Yeah. You could use a little ghee or clarified butter in there.
Yeah.
I won't go into all the benefits of ghee in this podcast, but there are many.
So many.
Yeah. And so it's really something that is great for reducing inflammation if you are having a flare up. And I think it's really good for people to know one of the things that they can eat or try, if they're going through a tough time.
Right. No, what about, like, I know a lot of times I talk about bone broth. So that's good too, because as a collagen, it's good for the gut. I know when I was going through a lot of digestive things, I did a lot of bone broth and stuff. What do you think about that? Do you think that's good too? I mean, I do, but what's your thoughts on bone broth versus like the congee?
Yeah. I mean, I think that they're two different things. I would say that bone broth is great if you can digest it. It could be heavy for some people. Yeah,
true.
So I really feel like it's so individual.
Okay.
It can be healing for your gut if you have enough bile, if your bladder is going enough that you can digest it, because it is a heavier food. If you can't digest the bone broth, if you cannot, something that you can have, so this is another extra tip, is a homemade veggie broth.
Yeah.
It's not going to provide all the nutrients the bone broth will in the same way, but it will be something that can give you some minerals. I have a YouTube video on my YouTube channel about a veggie broth and some healing spices that and herbs you can put in there. Okay. I can link that as well.
That would be great. Yeah, that'd be great. Awesome. Okay. Wow. Okay. These are great tips. These are fabulous. Oh my gosh. I hope, the listeners out there are really soaking all this in. These are wonderful tidbits. I am so happy you were joined us today and joined me today and brought these to the listeners. This is wonderful. We are wrapping this up because we're running out of time, but Melanie, I really want to thank you for bringing this on and sharing the love, sharing all of this with my clients, your clients, whoever's out there, new clients. So Melanie, what's the best way for people to get a hold of you if they have more questions or if they want to work with you? What is your website?
Sure. So it's the roottorisewellness.org, and we'll link that in the show notes. I'll also put my email, info@roottorisewellness.org. I'll put the YouTube link so that you can get the veggie broth.
Awesome.
I call it morning broth in there.
Okay.
You can read that. Also, I'll provide the link so that you can get this is a real gift, a whole 15-minute energy routine that will help with the vagus nerve and creating balance in the body. So I'll give you all those links. Yeah.
Wow, guys, look at all this free stuff. Freebies. We like freebies. But you know what I like to say is they're not really freebies. They're gifts. They're gifts from the heart, because you and I both know as holistic practitioners, we just love to give, right? We love to heal. We love to share. And that's what we're heart-centered around, is sharing the love and healing people and just getting people well, right?
Yes. I appreciate you so much and all you're doing, and so grateful that I was able to share.
Oh, yes.
Great to meet like-minded people.
Absolutely. All right, Melanie. Well, everybody, thank you again for tuning in. I hope everybody has a beautiful day. Stay well, stay healthy. And if you need anybody to help you out, you can contact Melanie or myself, and we're happy to help anybody out there right now that needs some help or a little additional tips or tricks about gut health or anything. So thanks everybody for listening. Have a fabulous day. Bye-bye. See you on the next one.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Sweet Life Coaching Podcast. To learn more about the topics mentioned on today's show, please visit sweetcoachtavia.com.